Todd.
Morning, y'all.
Morning, Todd. How are you?
Indeed. How are you guys?
Great.
Staying cool?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Morning, Al.
We're down. You're welcome.
Sapphire. Okay. So also needs to be signed.
Not bad. Good. More.
Oh, so we need to do-
Yeah,
Okay.
once the meeting people know and sort of things like that.
Okay.
This one came in, he was interested in buying that lot, that empty lot over here. House in Meadowlark. Passing along by.
Okay. Yeah, they have not care about that, I mean, that's his. Okay. Thank you.
Seems to be kind of like a neat installment, so.
All right, I've got 9 o'clock, call meeting to order, pledge. It's actually 9:02. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
And probably moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. All right, Matt, you're first up, buddy.
You all got a copy of it? Okay. Of course, that's Chuck Eisenbarth, and that's replacing a good chunk of concrete. Pretty much from the steps.
Right out here.
Yeah, from the edge of the north end of the steps. Oh, past the curve. But I took Mark out earlier, and there's some other stuff that's bad. That maybe we can just do it at the same time. I don't know.
I suggested that we just go ahead and get that done at the same time because there's some places that are sinking, there's some places that are cracking, we're just filling in with gravel.
It just continues to get worse.
So I'd say just to do it all right now and be done with it.
Did you have an estimate on just, is it gonna be the same $10 and some change a square foot to just continue to do it all?
Right. And the reason I chose to do more concrete is I had a guy come up and look at the manhole.
Yeah.
And he said there was nothing wrong with it, and he had PJ come in and look at it, and PJ said the same thing.
Okay.
We just need to put a new ring on top, and when Chuck gets ready for concrete, we'll make it flush.
Okay. You're planning on taking that out of your capital outlay for
Right.
building maintenance?
Right.
The courthouse outlay, is that the one you're thinking?
I've got to go get my paper, I didn't bring it in, but
No, I think there's courthouse.
I think there's courthouse and building and.
you have your numbers there.
I think it's just this one here. I believe.
Yes. That on the courthouse one?
Yeah. That's under, it would be 6-50-5 004-42. I didn't see a building maintenance capital outlay on here, so that's gotta be the only one.
No, I haven't got one, I have to go get it.
Maybe it's custodial.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, I think but like I say, when I went out and looked at it, you go down about 2 sections farther, and there's more that's sinking and cracking, and we're filling in the gravel. We're not able to go ahead and get that done.
Do you know what's causing it to sink? Is it something around that manhole?
No, this is farther down from the
This is
manhole.
further down.
Okay.
Probably all the salt and stuff over the years. I mean, again, we looked at it and like, you can tell where they attached it, and I tried to patch it, it just slips out.
Right.
I just threw some pea gravel in it and.
Yeah. Is the rest of the parking lot in good condition?
For the most part, it's not as needy as that.
Yeah, I'm fine with, you've got the money saved up for it, so I'm fine with it. Do you have an idea what the grand total will be?
When I talked to John, well, I just found out about going on a little bit further.
So you haven't calculated that?
John said his end would be no more than $2,000. Because you're talking about maybe 500 for the ring and that stuff, and then I said, so I just plan on $2,000 because all that's plenty, so. Yeah. And he would get with Eisenbarth and we'll get out where
And we only got the one bid
nobody else is around town
around.
that I know of. I mean, Sullivan retired. Kip Lamberson can't get to it till next year.
Right. There are other people in the county though.
Okay.
And I think it would be to our benefit to at least get 2 bids.
Okay.
I can give you the name of Kyle Taylor, down at Hoyt. Kyle Taylor. They've been doing concrete for 20 plus years. Maybe interested in bidding on it. I don't know if it'll be any cheaper. I think it's best practice to get a second bid.
I don't know, but
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
you mentioned one.
McLean Concrete.
Yeah,
And I talked to Kip about one, I can't tell you who it was. He's not ready for a project that big.
And it might be this one. He's just getting started out.
Okay. 580-917. I'll get it one shot.
yep,
I talked to Chuck this morning. As soon as he can get to it, it'll be late August.
I'd like to table this until we get a second bid and, if that's
Go get a
okay
second
with you
bid and
guys.
get that other part
Yeah.
added into
We'll
it.
have Chuck come back out and do that extra and.
Yeah.
I'll call this Kyle
Yeah,
and work that.
Okay.
Hopefully we can get back to you Monday and we can get this thing going. All right.
okay, thank you, Pat.
Thanks, sir. Real quick. We got, I think everybody got the email from Farm Bureau about the dinner on the 16th. So just making sure you're all aware of that. She does need an RSVP. Donna does, so I'm sure you all got her email, so. And let's see, we have proclamation from the governor for the disaster emergency proclamation. for the storms that came through beginning June 20th. We are on that list. I don't know that we need to do anything now for that, or if this will just allow for emergency services to start the process of trying to get some money for that.
Yeah.
I don't believe we need to take any action on this.
No, I don't think so, yeah, but I take a look at it.
Here we have a couple payroll changes here for the sheriff's office. For resignations.
Okay.
We have communication here. Apparently, we had a lady contact the clerk's office about the lot in Netawaka that the sheriff owns. And I believe that he said he's kept a hold of that because of possibly putting a substation thing up there. And I believe that she would have to get a hold of the sheriff's office and communicate with him over that, whether he wants to get rid of it or not.
Oh, whether he wants to sell it or not.
Yeah.
So
So my recommendation that you contact her back and tell her to contact the sheriff's office to see if he wants to take care of, do anything with
I mean,
The sheriff himself own it, or the sheriff?
the county owns it.
County.
So
County,
the
yeah.
conversation, would be that, Tim, are you still interested in you're having to pay somebody to mow it?
that. Yeah.
Would this be the time to maybe sell it? And then if he says yes, then we would be the ones to
Right.
sell it. Correct, Todd?
Yeah, I just didn't,
It was on the Lakeland tax sale, and the sheriff wanted, didn't sell back a long time ago, the sheriff wanted it, so the county kept it.
yeah, I think this lady contacted me about it, and that was.
I mean, actually, we could,
figure out that it wasn't from the last sale, because
we
No,
could
it
reach out to
wasn't.
Tim later this
Several
morning
years
and
ago.
see if he's interested in selling that.
Yeah.
Make a decision today on it instead of,
I think he's been asked this different.
we've asked.
Before.
well, I think I'd have to look at the title, because there's a difference between, no,
Mark, I don't see
you can't
anything.
just,
that we
I
need
mean,
to
through
take
the
action on.
audit process, is it a bid? Okay, and not,
So you're good.
we might have to take some looking, because I think the procedure is different if there was no bid versus an act of actual purchase bid. Because the last time you did that, you guys didn't, you just let it be sold for whatever, right?
Right.
Okay. There
Just
wasn't,
so we could get fair market value.
yeah, that's.
Okay, I got 9:15. How you doing? Good. What's going on with Road and Bridge?
Oh, things moving smoothly, of course. So we had a town hall meeting last Monday, which I'm sure you guys are aware. We're putting something together and keep, so we hold ourselves accountable for that. It's like a next Excel.
And then would Jennifer be able to take the email addresses of those that were there that we can send that progress out once?
I don't know if it'll be
Or-
Jennifer or not, but we'll.
Somebody.
Yeah.
Here,
Oh,
I can.
were you gonna do it? Okay, thank you for doing that, I appreciate it. But yeah, I think it'd be beneficial within a couple months, whatever, they get that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I was, like we had last time, but we'll just present that to the people that are used.
Are you still using the color-coded system that we've used for the last several years where,
Yellow and green.
yeah, whenever we get a call that you can log that and determine, okay, it's been looked at, in progress, complete, that type of thing? Okay, thank you.
We were supposed to get ADI last Monday, it didn't come, and we don't know why. We're calling about that today. We'll know more about that today.
Okay,
So patching's on hold until we get that.
They still have some, so they're still able to go. But right now we're doing asphalt stuff anyways.
Okay.
FEMA came Tuesday and we escorted them around. The state has hit the threshold to get money back, and I believe we did too, because county also. I'm 90% sure we did. But it hasn't presented us any numbers yet, but we'll either get a lot or we'll get zero. And, there's nothing in between. But it has to be approved way up in the echelon, like maybe even the president, the way they were describing it. So we'll know more about that.
okay.
But they came with everything. We didn't get to go. We didn't get to go see the Parmesan on Tuesday because of that. I would like to go still check it out and talk to the guys about it.
I think it's worth going
And see.
and take a look at it.
I wish I could have seen what the road. I'm sure they got pictures, and we didn't get to see that location, but it's still, yeah, I agree.
Do they have another
There's value
project? Maybe another project? that they
Sure.
use?
I think there was another one upcoming. Get a hold of them again and see. Maybe even like Brown or someone local. So the iWork system, we had a Teams call with them on Wednesday. They're gonna talk to us again. It's kind of like another one of those STARS programs, but it's bigger and designed differently. They're gonna talk to us again in 2 weeks on the 21st, because the stuff that I thought Jennifer, there was some stuff I thought she should see before we pursued it. And there's supposed to send us prices and stuff they did. So we had Jennifer off last week.
Yeah, what? Oh,
Jennifer was off, and Mary's only part-time, so we had a missed coverage of phone calls because I couldn't stay in the house all day. So I know there's some complaints about that, and I don't know what the answer to that is when Jennifer's gone.
Well, we do have the answering machine, correct?
There is an answering machine, we get to it when we can, but there's, people were complaining about it. They're used to us being pretty vigilant on the phone, so.
Can they transfer to the shop?
Yeah, but they're out.
Yeah, but
By the time they get to the phone, it's already
Okay.
on the voicemail. They're all out. I
Okay.
mean, if he's at his desk, it would work, but. And it does. It rings news, doesn't it?
No, she'd have to transfer to.
Well, there might be a way to do that, but it could be a sometimes fix. That's something we're gonna have to work through, especially we're gonna lose that position later on.
Well, but, yeah. There's a couple of different solutions I see. One is a handheld phone that can be carried around by someone from the shop. And whenever there's no one on the phone, it just rolls over to that handheld. I think the complaints that I've gotten is that no one ever calls back and says, hey, got your complaint, got your road concern. We've prioritized it. We're either going to get to it right away or we're not going to get to it for a little while. That's the complaint that no one ever calls back. I've probably gotten 10 phone calls in the last 2 weeks that that no one's calling back. And it's people just want that communication of, hey, we recognize we got it, we're aware of it, but this is where it fit into our list of priorities. That goes a long ways with people. The other solution or fix with that, if you're not gonna have any coverage, would be to pull somebody, if we're not hauling a lot of gravel, maybe we pull a truck driver in. You're gonna answer the phone today. If they say that's not their job, any job out there should be their job. When you're hired in, you work for Jackson County Road and Bridge. I think there would be some flexibility. I can't imagine that anybody would refuse, but, you know,
I think, yeah, on that, I think that, you know, that hasn't even happened, so
what hasn't?
as far as saying, sitting in the office and answering phones is not my job, so I think that would be something that we would address if it did happen. Rather
Okay.
than, yeah, I mean, if they were putting the cart before the horse there, so.
So anyway, using other personnel that are either, you know, not as busy or we're not mowing right away, so it just would not be somebody off the maintainer.
Yeah, I agree with you. It just didn't work out this past few days because we got a lot going on. But it is a solution for split time.
Yeah, a couple of different things that can be done.
So last week they did an entrance pipe at W and 228. There's an installation and a 20-foot extension. This week they're going to finish hauling that oversized from H and 262. They're just using that to fill ditches in the area around there. So for one of our dings on our safety inspection, it was the poles out there. They cut the electricity out there and we moved the poles for them, so we didn't cut a lot, we didn't, trench it out for them, so they're still a couple weeks out. We're gonna wait a couple weeks before we do that, so it doesn't just get much later, so. It's ready for them. Last week they did 3 truckloads of asphalt, one at R4 and 214, and they did Jackson Heights area, and then they did those bridges on 254. This week, B4 and 198, and I put a box in there, and then last thing, we've been doing the time cards things for a few weeks. And I put in probably 3 or 4 hours a week on it, just making changes and alterations and stuff. It's working for the most part, but it is time consuming for me and Jennifer, making changes and stuff. So I put them, she wasn't there last week, so I actually had probably put in 5 hours on it last week, maybe.
Changes in what way? You mean to
Like, if people are in Delia and they can't hit it, they pretty much Minnewaca and Whiting both doesn't work great out there, and Delia doesn't work great. Just large portions of our county, it doesn't work.
Just due to no signal.
Mostly, and then some of the phones, like Bryson's even.
I've only got worked twice since we did so.
Yeah, Bryson's phone is just like ours. And I've seen it. I watched, it's not just him saying it. I'm sure you wouldn't do that anyways, but some people might, but I've seen it personally in his, it's just, there's some bugs to work out still, and it's been very time consuming for me.
Have you ever visited with Mary about it?
No.
Try to work, see if she has some help to work through the bug.
And I will say, I know that when the school went to their new system, clocking in and out on phones, that you have to be within a certain area, standing darn near right underneath the modem to be able to get signal to do it, even though it's on wireless. So it's kind of I do understand what you're saying there, because there are a lot of bugs to work out before we put that in. So yeah, talk to Mary and Aaron and see what they can come up with, and we got to do something with Giant, and we'll worry about that.
I've got just road concerns. So Aaron Seifert. Aaron Seifert on 110, just west of 75 Highway, about half a mile. He asked a couple of years ago if trucks entering the roadway or highway could be put up. So his driveway is right on top of the hill, and people come over that, and he has, he's hauling cattle in and out of there, and he's about got hit several times, and he just wondered if somebody could take a look at that. And
What is it that he wants?
trucks entering highway or roadway signage. Yeah. And then I also suggested to him that he reach out to the sheriff's department. They can set up, he said, the traffic is awful fast, so the only alternative to that is to have the sheriff take a look at that. But if you want to take a look at it and see what you think, I think it's the biggest problem is traffic coming from the west to the east. Probably more commuter traffic morning and afternoon. But they feed a lot of cattle. So somebody may be pulling out with a feed wagon, a tractor, be over the hill in the wet season, that type of thing. So I said I would say something to you, let you evaluate it and determine what you think needs to be done, or if there is something we can do short of writing. Anyway.
I did have two also. T Road from 254 to the 116 intersection. There's a lot of secondary ditches getting cut in the road. There's just a little lip on there, this water's not getting off into the ditch. So, and it's also on the Lake Road, that's the same way there too. And I know that's dust controlled, so we're not gonna be able to do much with that, but there's, the secondary ditches are starting in there also. And then on U from 16 to about 190th, same thing. Secondary ditches are getting started. I know they're getting started all over. We need to have the operators, make sure that they're getting those lips off so that the water can get to the ditch rather than staying in the road. Linda, you got anything?
I don't.
And the second thing I had was Lonnie Hanson. Did you get a hold of him about the two down there? Okay, that situation's taken care of.
Yes. It's not taken care of, but I've spoken about, we have a plan.
You have a plan. There you go. And I'll echo what Mark said. I don't know that you have to put the blade all the way down across the road to take some of those out. It would appear to me that you can just take those lips off, roll it back over into that little secondary ditch without disturbing the entire road and cutting that shoulder off. But there's got to be a solution to that, and they're getting pretty bad all over town.
Once we get, the drainage back, up a lot, it's just going away.
It has.
If we get those ditches, it's gonna save us a lot of money in the future, so that's what we're working towards.
One of the things that was brought up at the township meeting the other night was a device that cleans the ditch and augers it straight into a truck. I think it's worth at least taking a look at something like that, because if that speeds that process up and it becomes more of a two-man operation, do you feel comfortable or want to take a look and research that type of equipment?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. I've kind of looked at it, I haven't dived into
Sure.
it yet, but something was on our radar already, so.
Okay.
Matt, you've been around long enough. Matt indicated that we've had something like this in the past.
Yeah, we had, more or less a belt conveyor, had an
Yeah.
auger in front. You windrow it out, and then you drive pick up that windrow and run it into the dump truck.
Okay, so the one that we had just wore out and we're just in a
And just, Scott got rid of it on one of them purple wave sales, and away it went. Yeah.
But I think it was a piece that was converted, correct me if I'm wrong, that wasn't its initial
No, that's what it was designed to do. It had that reel auger up in the front, brought it to the center conveyor belt, and run it up.
Yeah, I think what was mentioned across the hall the other night was a device that actually does the digging, so you're not, it eliminates the road grader altogether. You're not bringing all that junk into the road. So it's augering it right out of the ditch into a truck. That's what I was hearing the gentleman talk about.
That's what he said. I haven't found that for your thing, but, Kevin,
Be worth checking it
yeah,
out.
I still think that.
So did anybody visit with a couple of grader operators that were brought up across the line?
Yeah, they scattered away.
Like, the couple of grader operators, like, you know,
They got-
Dealey area and the Netawak area.
No, I know who that guy is, so I'll reach out to him, but, no, it says a meeting.
No, I meant to the grader operator, about sitting at the fire station or about their jobs,
Yes.
their performance, I guess.
Yeah. Are we gonna go to?
That would be an executive session if you want to do that.
No, that's fine, I
I
just,
mean, I don't
I
have a
think we might as well
problem.
go ahead and talk about it. So yeah, let's go into executive session and get it taken care of.
that's fine.
Did you,
I wasn't-
did this gentleman have something?
But let's go
He's here to talk
That's
about Advance Brothers.
Then that'd be up to Mark.
What's that?
Want to keep him waiting around while we're doing an executive session.
The guy from Advance Brothers here to talk about the project. We're gonna talk to that first.
Yeah, let's go and get that done first rather than.
And I don't know, we're gonna talk about the bridge contracts, I got some,
Oh, yeah.
Shawnee County Bridge and
Last week.
DG. Which one?
Yeah.
Last week's.
Just trying to.
Pay crap. Yes, sir. So I'd entertain a motion to add the representative from Paycraft to the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded to add the Paycraft representative to the agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign, motion carried. Come on up, buddy, bring your chair, you don't need to stand.
No, I've been sitting all morning. I'm getting ready to start the chip seal project first of August. So I'm reaching out to my vendors, my distributors. Unfortunately, we had a price hike in our oil since midday to now of 30 cents a gallon. This project's gonna require approximately 50,000 gallons of oil, so that's gonna be a change order of approximately $15,000. So I wanted to bring proof. I spoke with Joe. He said bring my quotes. I don't know who wants to look at them, if anybody,
Yeah, we'll go and take a look at it.
but it's about 30 cents a gallon difference. The rock and the aggregate hasn't changed, thankfully.
So this price went up from Advance Brothers for all their customers, I would guess.
Well, it's hard to say. I'm a competitor. I've beaten
Yeah.
twice, 3 times this year, so I'm afraid that I don't want
No, I know.
to make an accusation, but
And
regardless,
that's the only place that we can get oil from?
it's the closest for sure.
What is, just out of curiosity, Veta standing on 24 highway? Did
Yeah, so
they?
they buy the oil from Vance Brothers
They
as
do.
well.
Okay.
Bettis actually is no longer doing chip seal. I know they bought a place out of Kansas City that does, but I think they're completely out of chip seal.
Okay. So I didn't know if that was an option for you to buy.
No, and I tried to buy tack oil for asphalt. They won't sell it.
Really?
And if they would, they're going to be. I might as well drive to Kansas City and get it.
They're gonna charge you
Yeah.
for it. Yeah, I'm fine with this.
So I'd entertain a motion to approve the change order for Paycraft for the oil.
So moved.
Second.
So I just need to put that in as a line item.
Yeah. So it's been properly moved and seconded to approve the change order for Pavecraft for the oil price increase. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign, motion carried. All right, thanks, sir, appreciate it.
Hey, thank you guys. Look forward to helping. Mike, free to leave.
Yeah, you're good. Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.
All right.
How long do you want the executive session for?
What do you think?
15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, 15.
I move to go into executive session for the purpose of personnel matters, not elected personnel, for a period of 15 minutes, starting at 9:36, returning at 9:51, is that right?
Yep.
And in this room, talk about employee performance.
Who's present or not present?
What's that?
Who's present or not present?
I'm sorry, Joe and our attorney and the commission. And Bryson, I'm sorry, yeah.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, probably moved and seconded to go into executive session for 15 minutes for the purpose of a non-elected personnel employee performance, reopening this room. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign, motion carried.
It makes logical sense in some respects, you know what I mean?
Well, the way he described it was the ones on our side we would do and the ones on their side they would do.
Yeah, and that's been, I understand it's been,
Contract.
yeah, it's just, they're just trying to put an estimate on it, but it's just a weird thing because everything's supposed to be according to this 94 versus 6 kind of percentage, and that isn't. So, but I think it's correct to do it that way since it is the property, and if it gets forced, Shawnee County couldn't condemn Jackson County property because they don't have authority. So, I mean, just, it's one of the weird things about this, but it makes logical sense. So, with that, I think it's good to go. The EG, I think there's my standard warning, and I don't think Joe's heard this, but they're in there, and it's not in this contract, but down the road, they'll be doing construction observation.
Mm-hmm.
And those, they don't tell you this, it's not really clear, but that's not inspection for the county. That inspection is for the engineer, in reality. I mean, it's strange, you know, yes, it says what they do is they have an inspector who's out there and he's tracking, you know, materials and weather days and things like that. But he's not there to kind of call out things. And if you actually read the contract over the construction observation, you actually read the language, it makes it quite clear that they're there to cover the engineering side of it, meaning protect PG in essence. So I always tell folks, and this is, if you guys got internal guys to do it, that's great, just to have somebody there who's an inspector. And they can't, you know, they're not there to approve anything or do anything, they're there to watch and check. And because honestly, they're, you know, you can't sit back and say, well, you know, there's a problem later on, and you say, where was PG's inspector? You know, and
They're not an inspector for us.
well, yeah, they're gonna, and it really gets nasty, they're gonna pull that. And I really haven't had a big problem with it, I think everybody needs to know that, because that's the way those things are written up. And you've got to know that the, you know, county's the owner, there's a contractor who's gonna be a contractor, we don't know the name of that, and the engineer. Those relationships are weird, and I know that a lot of municipalities start to think that the engineer's on their side. But actually, they're not. So it's just kind of a warning to keep, just to remember that just because engineers are doing all this stuff, that you're not protected. You need somebody on the ground.
Are you, so, I understand what you're saying, but I don't know what to do with this information. Are you saying we need to have our own person, or?
Well, I don't know the answer to that because I don't know what the technical aspects. I mean, I think you can, if they're doing something that somebody understands and can, look at it and say, I can see they're doing the right thing here. I mean, I don't, having somebody on staff who does that, there's somebody there who can do that. That's not a problem to say.
So,
You gotta go out there and inspect it. If there's not, then you have to think about independent
so
inspection.
you would have MAP then go out and just look at periodically when they're doing the process to make sure that, okay, are they building it correctly? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, and I'm saying you're not, I mean, I don't expect you to go up there to do engineering. I'm expecting you to look at things with an experienced eye to say, this is not right, right? Catch the things before they happen, or just be around if something weird happens or something, and they say, we need to make a change to that, and then you'll get a change order up here. They'll have the engineer and maybe the resident project representative who's, they call it the RPR, that's their inspector, and then the contractor, and they're all three saying this needs to be done.
Well, is it, okay, I've got a question, this may be a stupid question, but is this not the way that we've done this in the standard contract for BG
Absolutely.
forever, or what? I mean, I'm just curious.
It's, you guys have been doing it forever, and the chances that it's gonna be this time that it's gonna bite you, who knows? This comes from a case that I had in Scranton, where there was kind of a snafu in a couple of areas. I mean, obvious stuff, like the lines, they're water lines, and they weren't buried deep enough. They were, the specification said below 36 inches, up to 42 inches, and there were 12 inches, 18 inches, right? So things that are not like fantastic engineering complexities. It's just looking at a trench and seeing that it's actually only a foot deep, right? So, but that was where I said, okay, so who's out there putting eyes on this thing? It's the engineer and the resident project representative. So I said, well, how do I get, and there was also a question about who's authorized to make changes. So there's some change orders. And that all got confused because the city thought that the engineer and the project representative were measuring things and determining things that they weren't. The RPR was sitting there looking at the weather and saying how many, yards of PVC are being used. That's it. And so, when it came time to say, okay, well, where's my inspection? It has these guys washing bury a line 12 inches. It wasn't there. So it's just like it went okay because of other factors. And this may not be the one that comes up, but I'm just saying the fact of the matter is that when you actually look at the contracts in detail, there are a lot of nuances that put you guys in a position where if you think that the RPR is sitting there, looking at the trench depth, he's not. Or at least you can't count on it. And you can either go to them and say, I want to change the contract so that the RPR is doing real stuff, or real stuff for us, or you get somebody internally who can inspect it, or you get a professional outside. If you're concerned about that. I don't have a good answer otherwise because.
So he's just making you aware.
Yeah. This is just an observation of possibility because like you said, you guys have taken it for granted, I think, maybe. Did I
Yeah, I,
reach you for that the RPR was your guy and who was pushing, you know, he was on board for you.
is it always that way in the contract, or can we rewrite the contract and say, hey, on this particular job, we want you to be representing us?
Well, I think that's when that contract comes around, yeah, you can make changes to it.
It's typically
This
the only
is-
time sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
Typically, the only time would be on a bridge, right?
Well, I don't know, yeah, I don't know if you do road, I mean, that's so basic, yeah, you don't engineer those too much. Yeah, it would probably be it, that would be it.
Okay, so I've got another question here. So, on page 14, I believe it is, under construction phase services, D.
Okay, 13D, yeah.
Construction phase services, number one, the consultant, who is BG, correct?
Yep.
Shall provide construction contract administration and construction observation services for the project during the course of construction, including organize and attend pre-construction, review contractor submittals for general confirmation with project demands. So wouldn't that be for change orders there?
Well, pre-construction meeting, which number are you on?
Number 3,
Yeah.
that would be for the change
Well,
orders,
but
correct?
that's conformance with his design.
So the contractor who's going, yeah, but the contractor who's going to be putting it in, if he has to have a change order, he's going to be getting with
Yeah,
VG Consultants
Well, yeah.
under this.
yes, I agree
Correct.
completely. Okay, that's a great question because that's where this breaks down, right?
Okay,
Who's approving the change orders? Now, yeah, you get an official change order, you guys will get it signed by the engineer, and that's good, in the contractor, that's good. That doesn't always cover, see, what happens when it still is conforming to the design, and they're standing out there and making a decision on something that changes the way it's done. It doesn't change the cost, but is a problem. And you guys don't know about it because there's no change order. But there was a change. There's a dozen different ways this thing can be changed without ever getting a change order. There's field orders, there's shop drawings, there's, and that's, again, this is the Scranton case.
so then would that come under number 4, compile logs of daily site activities and project progress?
Yeah, I've seen those logs. Those logs are two things. Whether it's raining today, no activity on site, or over here, there's activity, not over here. The second one is 2,000 feet of PVC pipe lay. So our tally on our sheet that shows what's used has been shown to be used. That's it.
And there again, I believe that we're going to have our guys out there
Yeah, well,
at random times or, whatever, observing what's going on because they're going to be working hand in hand, right?
well, I don't know what you guys do on these things.
Maybe on bridge?
Anytime work was done.
On bridge?
Yeah.
Anytime work was done, Matt would go out there at least once a day. And if not just Matt, but some of our senior lead workers would go out there as well. I don't know that they're qualified to judge engineer work. But they,
Well, no, I think what you're saying is they're not really judging engineering work. They're judging whether, if there is a water line going by,
Yeah,
well,
that they definitely do.
okay, you can still see your 12-inch PVC on,
Matt went out to W4 every single day. They were working. He wasn't there 24/7,
Yeah.
but every day he was there, seeing how it's run along and making sure they're sticking to what they're supposed to do.
Sounds like we've got that covered.
Well, then, and that would be I think what you were asking is that this is a broad-based document. There's going to be a point in time when the real contracts are going to be done for the project itself. It's going to have I think they're gonna have a different contract. They're gonna have, the RPR have a contract that's all signed, and the contractor signing his contract, that's gonna be developed. And that's when you have an opportunity to really see what they're doing and maybe make changes if you need to. And I think what I'm saying here is that sometimes these things are pretty obvious. This isn't like, massive engineering thing. This is just somebody being to cut corners and you can see it, right? And that's what we really want to try to avoid. But it happens, and it happened, and I went to the engineers who are pros, and I said, what happened? And they just kind of shrugged their shoulders.
Yep.
And contract is not always your friend in those circumstances. So that's why I'm kind of putting this out as a warning.
I mean, that's good advice.
Okay.
And then, let's see here. The other, this is just a design phase kind of thing, but let's just put it this, they don't have a standard attachment to the contract for your guys' provisions, right? Additional provisions, and we're looking at 9 of 17, page 5, paragraph 5.9.1. This is standard. Client's exclusive remedy for any alleged breach of standard of care hereunder shall require consultant to re-perform any defective services. Notwithstanding any other provision of this agreement, the total liability of the consultant, its officers and directors, for any claims or judgments under this is $250,000. And all claims shall be deemed relinquished once filed within 1 year. Now this is their standard limitation. And BG puts this in all their contracts. And our firm has objected repeatedly so much that there is a contract that will see this path on it. They'll say Stumbo contract. So, which doesn't have that liability. That's different.
I believe that Lee brought that up one time too. We got that change phrase eliminated, whatever, I think.
Yeah.
For
Well, and I think it's kind of in the standard terms, but this kind of puts that in a real problem because you got two competing terms. When the preference, my preference would be is to have them do the Stumbo contract.
Okay.
And that changes that to there's a, I can't remember if it's like that. It takes out that first part and it's like a maximum limitation. And it, honestly, they threatened the fact that it changes the price. Because that's a result of an insurance thing, right? Insurance says you keep this in here, this is your cost to us. You don't, your premium goes up. So, and I don't doubt it a bit, but that's the trade-off.
Right.
So I don't know if you, I think I've never dealt with Grady Hedstrom before. But I don't have a problem contacting him and saying,
Check that out.
Dr. Brian Foster had to dig up the Stumbo contract.
That would probably be the path.
Okay. So, those were the rest are pretty standard stuff. So
Okay.
you want to make that change and then get that to you guys.
Okay. But you have no problem with Shawnee County?
Nope.
So if not, I'd entertain a motion to approve the contract with Shawnee County for the bridge replacement over the tributary of Big Soldier Creek at Northwest 94th.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, probably moved second to approve the contract with Shawnee County for the bridge replacement over a tributary to the Big Soldier Creek at Northwest 94th in the amount of Jackson County share of $49,695.60. And that was to come out of the bridge fund. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign, motion carried. You got a copy of that, right? Perfect. And we will table the BG contract until you make those changes in them. All right. Anything else, guys? All right, thank you, appreciate it.
I'll have you guys sign.
So the sausage is made.
Have a great day.
All right, have a good day, guys. Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Back, yes, but we scheduled the budget meeting for 3 to 6 on Tuesday. with different heads, and there's the possibility
Those are back through here. We're gonna raise 250 feet from the entrance. When is the election day? Is that the election?
Voting starts Monday.
We have here a request from Jackson Heights Cobra backers. And I don't think we've ever done any of those for any of the 3 schools, have we?
I don't know what.
The Cobra backers for membership application for Cobra backers for getting on their program and so on and so forth. I don't think we've ever done that for any of the 3 schools.
Okay, so on an advanced voting site.
We've got CCLA, which is all schools combined, and then the asphalt.
Yeah.
We have a box outside of the building as well, if people can receive their email.
And you can't cover it?
This is
It's
a
supposed to be,
website.
Karen.
Yeah.
Not, yeah, will be in our enterprise facilitation.
No, they're not, they are, it's an advanced voting site. And it's a time period allowed for law. Times that are open. And I think I read that as being, if somebody can come in and click ballot and box, you're in the game, and now they can vote for whoever that is. Well. That's right. That's a good catch.
And just in the meetings in general.
Can't be advocated
Yes.
for it.
Right.
Or, I would say that that's an aspect of the budget. Not say, yeah, we should do it, or no, we shouldn't.
and information from Solid Waste for their meeting they had. There's those.
This is for every.
Oh, so we can't do that at the budget meeting.
Right, or in here, even aggregating sessions.
Okay. And that starts today,
Monday.
next Monday,
Yeah.
20th. Okay. So how does that affect anybody who goes into grade? Will that be this week, this next Monday, next month? Good question. Okay. Perfect. Okay.
I'm getting arrested.
Well, you draw that.
Electioneering. We can't talk about 4% after
Starting Monday,
Monday, next Monday.
20.
Well, you can't advocate, or seem to be advocating for it,
Yeah.
or against it.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
Well, Todd, we might go ahead and start with you. What you got?
Well, I think I got Kurt's question here, and I don't, did he talk about that the last meeting or anything about alcohol?
No.
Okay. Well, he's just saying I guess as I understand what he's saying here, is that we have the policy, I think, that says that if you have obviously if you have a caterer or temporary permit holder there to sell, that it's okay, you don't need insurance because presumably they are going to be liable, but we do have, if there's like a bring your own BYOB thing going on, you have to have an insurance coverage.
Mm-hmm.
So.
This is out in the lake?
Yeah, at the building.
Event center.
Event center. And you saying that's getting expensive for folks? I don't know, and, what if they, I guess she's asking what if they have no open bar? No insurance is not an open bar, that's what his question is. Would like to not have an insurance requirement if not an open bar.
No.
And I suppose that, I mean,
So what he's saying is there's an open bar, that individual has to have insurance. If people bring their own cooler in, they don't have to have insurance.
Yeah.
So lots of weddings typically have an open bar.
And I think as soon as you start selling beverages, you have to have a caterer's license or it's just illegal.
But just an open bar where the alcohol's free.
Yeah. And and the person who's there is not licensed. I think there's probably a distinction. I mean, if you just say we're having this event, you got to bring your own stuff. That's, I think, technically different than somebody saying, I'm buying lots of beer and lots of wine, and basically I'm going to be providing that. And if you guys bring something else, you can, but that's all.
So then what is the distinction between BYOB where they're selling setups versus,
Giving it away?
yeah. So you're selling setups, you're not selling liquor because it's BYOB, but you are selling setups.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't think there's any, I just don't think that's regularly involved setup.
Okay.
And I think the real problem is in Kansas doesn't have what they call a dram shop law, meaning that providers are not necessarily liable for, drunk driving incident or something like that. But, it's always one of those questions of who wants to be the first to
Yeah,
find out.
yeah.
So the issue is that somebody I mean, if you basically say you can bring your own drinks and we don't care, but you can't, you're not selling, you're not giving away, everybody's gotta bring their own in some respects, then, you know, you still gotta have insurance because what if somebody gets drunk and hurts somebody, or gets hurt themselves. Now, you guys have a lot of Kansas Tort Claims Act protections, it's a recreation area, you didn't sell it, you know, all those kind of things, but, so you're just kind of weighing some very extreme circumstances against what could be a cost for folks. And I don't really have, I don't think that there's a legal reason one way or the other. I think it's a practical question of whether you guys want to take that risk. Somebody who's giving away, who has a wedding, said, I'm providing all the booze or whatever. You know, nobody's bringing, don't really have to bring anything in, and it's free, and we're just giving it away. Somebody gets hurt, what happens? Well, I mean, there wasn't a transaction. Is the provider, is the guy who's renting liable? Maybe. Are you guys the only ones that left after that? Maybe. So, you know, I think part of it is that I don't think there's a requirement that you do it unless it's being sold. You just have to worry about the liability. And maybe that's not a big concern.
And so Kurt's question then is, do we have to have the insurance?
Yeah, if it's an open bar. If it's not an open bar.
And your answer is no.
No.
Yeah, I wouldn't see where we would have to.
Well, you don't have to. It's just another little layer of liability for, I don't know what the cost is. So nobody's told me. Yeah, that's $6,000. I agree. That's crazy.
What if within that because people sign a contract to perform a wedding out there, whatever they sign off, that just says within that contract you are liable for however returning
Yeah,
witness.
yeah. You assume liability, or you indemnify the county. Yeah, that could
For
be
all alcohol,
related. Yeah,
provided or related to
we
this
can
event.
do that.
I think that's the
I think that's the
easiest
smartest thing to
way.
do.
And then
Yeah, it's
Put
a long
some
time
in
since I
the-
looked at what we drafted, so I'll take a look at that and see if
Yeah.
we can alter agreement to identify.
okay.
Okay. The rest are, actually probably executive session. type
Okay,
stuff.
can we hold off on you?
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
Teresa's
that's
here
what
now.
I'm
Good.
saying.
Teresa,
Let's get other people out of there.
come on up. We'll get that taken care of and then we'll do it.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how are you guys
Very
doing?
good.
Short weekend, right? Always too short.
They're all the same, they're all the same.
Thank you.
They're always too short, even the long ones are too short. Here. You know, after 4th of July, it just seems like back to school's here, right?
1 month.
Sure. Well, I'm Teresa McInerney with Northeast Kansas Enterprise Facilitation, so I've met some of you, but not all of you. And this is our new director at Glacial Hills, which is our umbrella agency. That's our financial fiscal sponsor, Lynn Goodman. So I don't know if you know Lynn. Lynn's been around for a long time, and she took Gary Satter's place. So we have a new directorship. So exciting.
Nice to meet you.
Thank you. And so, enterprise facilitation, real quickly, we've been around since 2003, so we're old. We've been here for a long time. And during that time, we've built a really powerful web of connections and resources, tried and true, and a lot of entrepreneurs. And so we're a nonprofit, and we offer free and confidential business coaching to anyone living in our 5 counties that we cover, which is Atchison, Brown, Donovan, Jackson, and Nemo. And same 5 counties we've always covered. And last year, Jackson kind of thought they were going to bow out a little bit. And so, but we kept covering them, mostly because we always have.
and I've got so many people here that call me all the time. I didn't have the heart, even though my board now is kind of reining me in, to cut people off after we've worked together for years, and new people that need our help. So someone can call us with an idea. I mean, our services range, everybody's different, right? We're very person-centered. And so that's kind of what separates us from the governmental agencies. We'll meet over a kitchen table in the evening, because a lot of people work in the daytime or weekends, and we'll go over financial forecasting, ideas, feasibility, marketing ideas, product development, whatever. Everyone's at a different spot. Every person that calls me is at a different place. And so we're very one-on-one, person-centered. That makes us very different. We focus on the Trinity management, getting what they do well is what they're going to focus on, and then helping them fill in the gaps. For usually it's financial management and marketing where they need some filling, need some professional help or some good resources at least. And so we stick with their budget friendly. I am the only paid person in these 5 counties, and I have a board that I serve, a community resource board, which you're all welcome to join. We've got about 69, 70 members on that resource board, and they're professionals from all 5 counties, and they all come together to brainstorm for clients. So super unique, right? I mean, you couldn't pay for that. Say, hey, let's get a bunch of, folks together and help us. So that's basically our program. I mean, did I cover that?
I would like to add, one thing that really sets this program apart is that it's not a top-down model, it's a bottom-up grassroots. So the client has to come back to Teresa to get what they need. And if you look at rural development or even in Africa and how we have sent food over to Africa for years, they're learning when you shove help at people, it creates false economies and it creates disincentives. And so this program is very different in that she has access to every resource available, but she definitely lets the client lead the process, and then we'll ask tweaks like, are you sure you want to do this? I've seen this risk happen, and this happen. And they can talk about certain case type businesses that we've all seen come up and go down. So she gets to teach one-on-one, but then be pulled by the client, which is a much more successful model than some of our government programming.
And I think I agree with you, also to the point that I think sometimes individuals who could have some skin in the game too.
Mm-hmm.
So when you put something out and you're trying to create a business and you're asking for somebody to advise you on that, okay, now I've had to pay for that service. So my recommendation, would be to come up with a fee for individuals who want to meet with you. Okay, we'll meet with you, and that fee would be X number of dollars for the first visit, or you get, for this number of dollars, you get my initial consultation and 5 others. Because I really believe when somebody is invested, they're going to follow through with stuff more than likely. When it's free and the county's paying for it, yeah.
I can speak to that because
Sure.
I've been a farm management consultant for 25 years, and so I'm fee only.
Uh-huh.
And what's different, when I work with farms, I have a lot of equity sitting there.
Mm-hmm.
There's cash flow, there's things moving.
Mm-hmm.
When you're working with the Main Street businesses, the dollars involved are very small, and the wherewithal is very small. And typically the education level of the people are very small. And so this is more of an area for mission to develop your hometown people into the business owners you need. Because when they come at you first, they're not going to have the financial wherewithal to pay for that consulting. That's insurmountable.
It could be a barrier. That could be a barrier. Budget's so small businesses, it is like every penny. And I think that's what makes us attractive is that we're free and confidential. And we're a step away, so they know they can tell us. In rural areas, nobody wants to tell what they're doing, right? I mean, small towns. And so we're a step away, but I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I'll sit down and do 2 hours or 3 hours on a financial forecast that's pretty complex. And at the end, they're like, how much do I owe you? And I'm like, thank your commissioners, thank our funders, because they make our program possible. It adds something for you to offer your citizens, to your people. I do get that a lot, and I see what you're saying, and we talked about maybe the more successful businesses. We have a lot of successes giving back, because we're a nonprofit. They can give back to us as much as they want.
For those who are trying to get started. Yeah.
Right, but that barrier at the beginning,
So
it's real.
I will tell you, I'm a small business owner,
Uh-huh.
and I reached out to a consulting firm, and I paid for that service when I started out. It's part of doing business, in my opinion. So
It just depends on the level and the business, and I have a lot of folks that are very capable, but they still want more resources to pull. And one nice thing about our service is we don't cut anybody off. Okay, I've already met with you 5 times or whatever.
right.
I was looking. We keep track of all of our contacts, and it's listed here. And it's funny because I have some clients. I've been here 16 years, right, doing it. So I've got some clients that have met with over 100 times, and you know what? They're the most successful. I mean, they are gangbusters. But it's such a nice. I feel like it's a benefit to living in one of these counties. In fact, they wrote a book about it. If you could live anywhere. From Main Street, Melody. I can send it to you.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's a book about Kansas and Northeast Kansas, and start a business. If you want to start a business, come to Northeast Kansas because of our resources. And they highlighted our program, so it's kind of exciting to be, in this Main Street America book that's pretty widely sold. But good point. I mean, I see your point. Yeah. Yeah, and so the numbers, since we've been around so long, and Jackson has been very robust in the years. 11, we do, and Lynn alluded to this, we do not go door to door. I mean, I'm the only person in Pike County, so I'm not going to go knock. Plus, those people might just say something to appease me. I mean, I want people that really want help.
Right.
We want to spend our time wisely. And so we depend on introductions. And so the board is the first line of introductions, and banks. And now that we've had almost 2,000 clients, our clients, every day I get calls from people, oh, so-and-so that runs this told me how much you help them, so we need. And so our clients have turned into our biggest referrals partners. And the clients, you can see there we're at 1,944. Jackson's at 339. New and expanded businesses 73 in Jackson alone, 383 regional. And we do believe in regional vitality. That I love when the board gets together because they're from all different counties and they help. They cross. They're very intertwined. Jobs created 1,457. I remember when I started this, it was like 200 or 300 or something. And I remember thinking, wow, who wouldn't do backflips if a factory was coming in going to hire 300 people, right? It's like, woo! But the nice thing about our job creation is it's spread out. And so if a mom and pop or a small business is like, okay, I've done this for a long time and, we're going to sell or close our doors, whatever, what have you, it's not devastating to a community. I mean, it's not good, but it's not devastating like a factory closing. So ours are small, and spread out. And tune-ups, that's when someone calls us, and we get a lot of calls from previous clients. Hey, I want a new point of purchase, or I want a new platform, or what do you know about AI? Come in and show me how I can use that. So we're doing a lot of educational things too. With this past year, we've done AI virtual classes for our clients and stuff. So they would come in and learn about how can they use AI as another employee almost. They can save money doing that and things. So we've done a lot of educational things, and I'm very excited. I want to come tell you about this because it's and jump in, Lynn. this. I'm just like, yeah, I know. We were blessed, we applied for a Patterson grant to help our project expand its offerings. Now, they're very earmarked specific things, you know, when you apply for something, you have to use them just for those things. And one of those things, we need to maintain our funding is important, but the benefits are gonna be really astounding. What we're doing with our Patterson money, we're going to use it to, of course, enhance our profile, you know, so more people know about us. Since we can't advertise, we can't go door to door, we just are going to use some of that for that. But the biggest thing is going to be, they're allowing us to use the money to buy some decision-making platforms. So we're going to, we're looking at a suite of platforms that will help anybody trying to make a decision on a business. How can it be the most intelligent decision and most informed decision? So there's some platforms out there that give us push-pull. So if someone's, say, boomers, people are eating out of the county or out of the county, and they're going to Topeka. How many millions of dollars goes to Topeka every year, and for what? It'll give us things like that, gaps, where, okay, gas stations or liquor store or body work for cars, you know, whatever it might be, there'll be segments that we can look at and say, okay, in this zip code, where are they going to buy this? And how can we fill that? Or make a better decision about what niches are open if someone wants to start a business. So in 2017, the Atchison Economic Development Group that I sit on, they did a big study. They did not buy the platform though. They're not subscribers like we want to be, which is nice because we get updated all the time. We'll have fresh new information all the time. But they did a big study on the gaps and things like that. And it was very useful, but of course it's obsolete now. I mean, it's obsolete in a year or two, air feeding, because it was just that micro minute of business. But it did tell us how many millions of dollars leaves to go do stuff. And that's what we kind of need to know. And I think there's other decision-making things, feasibility. How many people have this specific need? How many people would use it? You know, things like that, that you could capture as a business, even a portion of it, a percentage of it, that they can make an intelligent decision about their business. So you probably know with your business, it's hard to know what's the best data. Yeah. And so I'm very excited about that. That's one of the biggest things I think that from Patterson, we get to use that money for decision-making platforms. And that'll make us very unique. Kansas just added Everything Kansas, and I don't know if you've heard of that, but that's all public data. What I say, everything, everywhere, all the time?
All things
Kansas.
It's a K-State initiative.
Yeah, all things Kansas. And it's all public data. It's all open data. This would be proprietary data. This would be something you have to pay for. And so I'm very excited about that. Any questions on that? Anything you want to add, Lynn?
I think it's tricky for me as I administer a program over 5 counties of how to allocate resources when we don't have funding from one county.
Sure.
And so I think that we're going to have to find a way to replace that income and probably shift to a different location or shift to maybe having Teresa teach online classes or some other source of funding revenue. So that's a loss to Jackson County because over just Teresa's 15 years, she's had some very successful business startups in this county that are anchors in your community, and you don't even realize it. And so I think it would be a loss for not today, but small business is a churn. It's something we constantly have to be investing in and growing in. And so, having this consultant 6 months from now, that may make an impact that we can't anticipate sitting there today. And it's a pretty cheap return on investment, I think, for your community. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at in the balance of things and trying to figure out how to administer appropriately.
It is an investment. I know Matt Wilson came last time and he was he goes, I pay more in taxes than she's asking, like 10 times more in taxes than she's asking. So, and
Then who?
Matt Wilson Tire.
Yeah.
He came in, he was just saying the return on your investment, he's paying more back in taxes from sales and from property of everything. That it doesn't even come close to what I'm asking. I mean, I'm nothing compared to what he pays, is my point. And that's just one business. So I know nonprofits are hard sometimes, but at least we're a nonprofit that has a return. Like, we're helping folks return the tax base, to the tax base, broaden the tax base. And so Matt was pretty vehement about it. He's like, yeah, he was very eloquent, and I'm sure he'd come again if you want to hear from him. But I've got other folks too that can come in. But the point being, they're giving back more than you'll ever know to fund this program. Does that make sense? At least you get something back. Well, I appreciate your time. If you have any questions, I've got some cards.
Yeah, I will just tell you that it's very difficult to make these decisions on who we fund and who we don't.
Okay.
And there's been a real push to look at what we're only mandated to fund because the budget is. Matt would probably agree that he doesn't want to pay more in taxes.
Right, nobody
And
was.
so every time we give money away, we're finding it hard to fund our own departments to operate the county.
Right.
And thank you very much. I appreciate the again, I see the value. It's finding the funding for the value for that. And it's difficult. We're looking at reduction in force in some departments to help not have to increase the mill levy more than what already we're having to do.
Yeah.
So, not to say we can't do something in the future, but at this point,
Yeah.
it is
I
what it
wanted
is.
to come and see where you were at with, open-minded to funding this, because I don't want to break up the band. Our 5 counties have been so powerful and working together. It's been a really good example as a regional win. I mean, all across Kansas.
So this program was started by an Italian, Ernesto Cerulli, and he has how many across the world?
304, almost 400 now.
Yeah, 400
Projects
of
like
these
ours.
programs, and he came back a year ago, and he came just this last maybe 6 months ago, and we are the gold star of all of them across the world. And Teresa, they send Teresa people to train. So this is a unique and special thing. We understand that the county has lots of asks.
This is
a lot of hands
at
right
least
here.
we give back to the tax base. I mean, we do have that going for us. And Lynn's right, we've hosted people that travel and can't, like, I got a call a couple years ago, a Brazilian, and he's like, Ernesto told me that if I want to learn how enterprise facilitation works on the ground, come to Kansas. And so he came, stayed with us a few weeks, traveled, it's all of Kansas. But we've had people from Wales, Brazil, Australia, Canada, Africa, I'm sure I'm missing, Scotland. Yeah, it's crazy. It's all over the world. So he sends them here because we, have been so successful here and in the rural area. It's for rural areas. It's developed to help rural areas grow.
Okay.
So,
Thank you very much.
thank you very much.
Appreciate it. Bethany, come on up. How are you today?
Good.
How are you today?
Good. So obviously, I just wanted to touch base with you guys. I'm not privy to the decisions that were made regarding the budget. So with the funding that we supposedly got for 2027, I just wanted to come and kind of hear your guys' thoughts on why those decisions were made the way they did, and I guess the direction you see the office going in the future. Just based on kind of what I presented throughout the year and the needs, and then what you guys were able to approve.
Well, unfortunately, the way that the finances in the county are, and like I said, I know this is something you don't want to hear, and this is not something I want to tell you, but we had looked at doing the other position, the other attorney, and we just don't have the funds to do it. There's just, that's just the long and short of it right there. We just do not have the funds to do it.
This is the total amount of increase. This has been changed, but I got the other sheet. Let's see. Because you were wanting to add a full-time position, that was going to be 90,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the hard part is, I mean, we're already looking at a mill increase. That's 80,000 is half a mill. And is the public going to swallow that? That's the piece we have to figure out. I mean, I don't want to pay more property tax because most people don't. And how do we get through this? How is that going to affect your office and the safety of the community?
Well, like I was telling you guys before, obviously we have days in court where there are 2 attorneys needed in both courtrooms, and 2 attorneys handling the felony docket leaves no one to handle the misdemeanor traffic. So we've had many days. We have our interns cover when they're here, but obviously they're not full-time. So there are days where we don't have an attorney in the courtroom for court cases, which is concerning to me because I want a presence with my office anytime there's a hearing. And like I told you guys, that's just using resources because it just gets reset. The case gets continued to a date and time when the county attorney's office is available. So we're asking defendants to come back at least once, if not multiple times, to a date and time where we can appear in the courtroom. So that's concerning. Another concern that I have, obviously, is just caseload-wise. We have such a high caseload with just 2 attorneys that we're not giving the attention that these cases deserve. Obviously, I'm putting in the hours. My assistant county attorney, Amy, as you guys know, is leaving because of caseload and for more money. I have hired another attorney. I think she's going to be great. But again, just case numbers wise, I don't have the time to invest in the higher level cases that I'd like to because I have so many. So at this point, it's like we're trying to keep our head above water instead of putting the time each case deserves in each case. So I think in the end, it's gonna affect taxpayers, not necessarily, I don't know, I think eventually.
Probably not safety-wise, but
I don't want to miss things because I'm too busy.
That's better.
I have obviously an ethical duty, but at a certain point you invest your time where you're needed most. So I have concerns about that.
Is there anything at our level that we can do to help facilitate between you and the court that helps with the amount or the way the cases are, how often and how quickly and?
I mean, I'm in constant communication with them regarding our lack of just the presence in the courtroom. So. Obviously, I have hired multiple interns that we pay part-time to cover those, but they're not here full-time. So that's kind of the solution that I've come up with. It's not a permanent full-time thing, and obviously they aren't licensed attorneys to where they're handling cases without approval from an attorney. So they can only do so much as interns. So I just have concerns, I at this point, we're just kind of keeping our head above water and we're not giving the cases the attention that they deserve. And I don't want that, I guess, to be a long-term thing where I continue to have turnover in the office because of caseloads, because of the pay. And
Do you think,
as the county attorney, I feel like I owe the county
I know,
my time. And so I want to give the cases that deserve my time and my time. And so I think that's kind of where I'm struggling. And I understand everybody had cuts this year, so I get it, but long-term, I don't know if it's something we can plan for in the future. I know I had just asked for 4 months worth of a salary for 2027 to try and kind of not ask for the full thing, I guess, right away.
would there be any value to, can you hire an attorney part-time to help cover cases in 27 that is not an intern? That you
Yes.
go, hey, you know what, we're gonna have X number of cases, can you handle this one or this one to help with that?
That's something I'm exploring. Obviously, taking that intern money and maybe hiring someone part-time to appear for felony dockets on Thursdays and Fridays when we need them. I've also, I know you guys know I have a grant writer who's looking into hiring a victim witness advocate or getting a grant for a victim witness advocate. I'm hopeful that I can get that, plus the benefits covered on that. She said that you can ask for benefits to be covered as well. So I'm hopeful that I get salary and benefits covered for that position.
So,
But perhaps maybe there's grants out there where we could hire a third attorney under a grant. I don't know, I haven't explored that. And I'm looking at other ways to
so I'll
fund it
just
too.
bring you up to speed the rest of it. I happened to talk to Senator Bowser this past week and he updated me on the information that Judge Elder had gotten written. I got it to him. He has got it to a couple of people that, and they're trying to figure out a way, an avenue for money to fulfill that. He didn't say no, and Greg works very hard, Senator Bowser works very hard to try to find, he does a lot of research and tries to put the document in the right people's hands. He believes there's a path forward. That would be finding that this fall, and then of course when the legislature takes up in January,
Yeah.
that's when they would move a bill forward somehow. Part of this is taking money away from other counties who have casinos and are receiving money.
Right,
They're going to throw a fit.
right.
So I don't think that's a real option. I think it's finding new money, and I believe it's got to come from the gambling funds.
Yeah,
And so I think he's really trying to figure that out. That would be huge for both you and the sheriff
that would be great.
in this county.
And I could reach out to him obviously and
Please
talk to
do.
him.
Please do. I think any time he gets additional information and understands the scope of what's going on, it helps him, and there may be a point where he may say, hey, can you come testify? Can you give, 30 seconds worth of testimony? Tim's also agreed to doing that, possibly next year, but it's finding that out, and it's tricky.
Right. Well, and I obviously am newer, so I don't know historically how budgets have worked, if it's always every year it's tight, or some years you have better years than others, but, so not kind of not understanding, I guess, historically where you guys are at. I just wanted some clarification.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It stinks, but we only have so much. And,
Yeah. I understand, everyone has to deal with it, so I just, it's a need, and it's gonna continue to be a need, so I just wanted to obviously voice that, but.
Don't see it going down anytime soon.
Yeah, we're trying to do the best we can with what we have to work with.
Yeah.
It's just stretching everything that we can to get that. So, I mean, it's unfortunate,
Yeah.
but.
Okay. All right, well, thank you guys for your time, I appreciate it.
All right, thanks. Read real quick.
Okay.
Isn't too.
Sure.
Jeez.
I'd entertain a motion to add Barbara Brockman to the agenda.
So,
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded to add Barbara Brockman to the agenda. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Ms. Brockman, you want to come on up?
Thank you.
What's on your mind today?
Everything.
Everything. There you go.
Don't cut the deputies. We had a big robbery, they shot their way in,
Yeah.
and that is scary. But that's not why I'm here. I want to know what you guys know, or when you remember the last time that the entire levy was examined, tax levy.
You mean as far as the budget wise?
No, the levies that were set. Is that, am I saying the right thing?
I mean, what each property is worth, or not, I guess,
Or each territory? I'm finding it by territories.
each territory? Yeah, you mean land itself, not a home, or your combination of both?
Combination of both it could be, but generally speaking, right now I'm talking about homes.
Okay, thank you, that helps.
I want to know why there seems to be so much difference. So much.
Okay,
I can compare mine to some others areas. They have, I think they have something like 6 tracts of land or acres, and I have almost an acre. And my taxes come within $200, me paying $200 of what they are paying total, yes.
do you mind if I ask, do you live in the city limits of Holden or outside the city limits?
We are apparently considered city limits because we get certain things. Our electric comes that way, our billing, and so forth.
But
So
you're talking
within
about-
3 miles, I think you're within 3 miles of Holton, then if you're down to city electricity.
But you're specifically talking,
Well, that's what I mean, so you're within a 3 mile radius
Oh,
of Holton.
within, yes.
but
Yes,
you're specifically talking about the value of your property versus somebody else's property? Or are you saying what tax is levied on you versus what somebody else is getting?
Well, what would be the difference? 'Cause
Well,
if
the
you
value of a property would be different than what is levied on just a piece of property. So your property may be valued, I'm just gonna use the number $100,000, but a house down the road from you or 6 miles from you could be similar length, width, height, condition could be different, and it could be valued at $50,000.
But I can't figure out what conditions are different. I just cannot figure that out.
Right, so some of it may be the age of it, but typically what the appraiser looks at is what it can be sold for. So in other words, if your house could be sold for $100,000 based on past history, so they go back and they look at what homes, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but they go back and they look at the past history of how real estate market is acting. So if that style of home that you have, they find 3 others within a certain distance have all sold for $100,000, yours is probably going to sell for that also. I'm not saying it's a perfect system, but that's the system that we have to use.
Have you asked the appraiser's office for an explanation?
I'm going there. Believe me, I'm going there. But I wanted to know what you guys knew about it at this point.
Because they should be able to show you comparisons as to
Great point.
what your house, you know, what it's
So that's
compared
what I'm
to.
going to do.
And even, you know, the neighbors or whoever else you're looking at,
Right.
that's open record. They can show you comparisons.
Well, I just cannot figure this out.
and as far as when the last time, what you're calling the levy was set, when they did a reset on the appraisals, that was back in the early 2000s, late 90s. If I remember correctly, through the state. The state's the one who sets all the rules and regulations on how things are appraised, how things are valued, so on and so forth.
And that's the next place I'm going to because something is wrong with the system around here. Anybody knows if you have 6 acres versus 1 acre, you're going to get at least 6 times the income.
Not necessarily.
Whether you're renting it out, whether you're,
Are these 6 acres, I'm sorry to interrupt you, are the 6 acres have residents on them?
some do.
Okay. That piece is subjective, so, because a a business or a rental property is not required to divulge income. It's not, the state doesn't require it. It can be done voluntarily, but you are not required by state statute to divulge income. So therefore, if it's a rental property, but it's a little less dilapidated a little bit, maybe compared to yours, maybe that's why. There's a lot of variables in there.
Oh, there's a lot of variables, and I realize that, but I just cannot figure this out.
Sure.
This has a school system involved. Here, though, I think that's what put part of this, is because the schools,
So your
schools.
mill levy is affected by the school district in the city. Where somebody just outside the bounds of the city limits or in a different school district would be huge, because I think, I don't know the current, but it was, I don't know that it changed, you have 14 and a quarter mills just for your school. 14 and a quarter. Compared to I'll use Royal Valley because I know my son lived within the 3-mile radius of Holton, and when he moved and purchased a home in Royal Valley's district, his property taxes went way down. Down, because there was not a school mill levy that was as high as what Holton's is. I'm just using that, that's an explanation for you.
But Holton has like, what, 2 new schools, so to speak?
No, just one.
I don't know.
The one up
Just
here,
one.
well, they changed down here, so they no longer have a school over there.
But they combined Central and Colorado into one elementary school with the bond issue.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's what the 14 and a quarter mills are paying for, is that. So that will affect how much you pay versus somebody in the county.
Well, I am in the county.
Outside of the city limits,
Well, again,
in a
apparently,
different school district.
apparently I'm not supposed to be. I'm supposed to be in the city limits, and I'm in the same schools, evidently.
I don't believe that you're in the city limits out there where you're at.
But
But you get electricity from the city because the city supplies electricity for a 3-mile radius around the city.
But you're not actually in the
But you're not actually in the city limits. You just get your electricity from the
right,
city.
that's
Yeah.
where part of the catch is, I
Yeah.
think. Because we don't have sewer systems or anything
No.
like that.
But I think Linda had a great idea. I think you go up and have the appraiser's office give you some comparisons. And
Yeah, well, I'm definitely headed there. But I had so many subjects today that I was just wanted to put that one out there first.
Yeah.
But my next question is, what is going on with the court system up above here?
As far as what, man?
Anything. Anything. You take it from the lawyers to the way the court system is handled. Have you been up there and listened to them or gone through any of the cases?
it's extremely busy. Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is they don't seem to realize who they're dealing with.
In what way?
Humanity.
So you
Somebody can be hard of hearing, someone cannot understand the languages. Do they care? No, they open and shut a door.
They do, I will tell you that they do provide an interpreter, because I see the bills for it.
I'm not looking for an interpreter, I'm looking for humanity as it stands. For they can have something written to the people, so the people can read that they do not do this or they do that. No. In fact, I almost saw shooting pennies over there among them on a case. And that is the fact. That is the fact.
I'm not sure what you mean by that, but anyway.
It's ridiculous. I think probably since they had that hardship, a lot of it has happened personally with some of the personnel. That's what I think. The hardship, you know, I believe they had a death, and I think that affected some of the personnel.
I believe that our court system and the personnel that work up there are extremely professional. If you're misinterpreting what they're doing, I'm sorry, but I think to imply that they're not professional, I would disagree with you. They're very professional. All of them.
I'm not saying they aren't, but I'm saying they're taking this in a different stream of reality.
And maybe, just maybe, you don't have a good understanding of what's taking place up there. All you're hearing and seeing is what goes on in that courtroom. So I'll leave it at that.
Well, that's quite possible, but I have been at both sides, and I've been schooling, and it has gone down, in my opinion. That's an opinion. But anyway, I still don't understand, and I'm going to go over to, I'm backing up now.
That's okay.
I'll go over and, because I've got some places in mind, and I'm going to have them divulge to me what that property is worth. There's something wrong in the system. Absolutely something wrong.
But are some of the properties you're comparing to, I mean, if they're in a different taxing unit, some people might have a different levy for a cemetery or a fire district.
Another good
That's
point.
what I'm going to find out.
Okay, because that all makes a difference. They all add together.
Yeah, I know it does, but
Yeah.
I still feel something's loose somewhere, and I don't know where.
Okay.
But anyway, speaking of that, in general, I guess, the next thing I'm going to talk about is, or explode out there, is the highway system. And I hope you folks can back me up on this, because Highway 75 has got to be fixed. I don't know how familiar you are with number 9 and 75 crossings. It's terrible, absolutely terrible. You cannot see the bottom of that north yellow.
That's right.
Well, we're gonna have a meeting, we're gonna have another meeting. Meetings won't do it, you've gotta get out there with the equipment and get something done.
And that's out of our hands, that would be KDOT.
I know it is, but
Yeah.
I want you to, if you.
And we've discussed that with the secretary and you know, trying to get that a 4-lane all the way to the state line. So, you know, they're working that way, but these things take time, and there's no way that they're gonna get it done tomorrow.
But it don't have to take kind of time that they're talking about. It does not have to. You know, I worked for Highway for years, and I still have a very great interest in it. But they've got to step up and do something now, not after their third meeting. That's ridiculous.
Sure.
You know, I think anybody would agree with that. So anyway, I hope that you will feel that it is very important out here. It's vital. They did a little bit of fixing, you know, when they put that apron out so that you can turn out and you get on the extra lanes, you know. But they didn't do it right. They left a gap there that the tires fall down in, and the other thing is the moistures. They just threw it out there and forgot about it.
Right.
They did not dress that correctly. But anyway, I'm wanting to get that done. Also, I want to get a light at O Road and 16. they got that little bitty dippy hills.
Mm-hmm.
The traffic is terrible. It's very, very, very bad.
What kind of light are you referring to, ma'am?
A stoplight or something that goes, that they have control, that the department, the deputies, the sheriff has control over for people, you know, on the traffic. Not only were we robbed the other night, and I'm thinking it came from there, but I don't know that. I can't tell you. I can only tell you the two people voices. I don't know. But anyway, it's got to be taken care of, and I don't know how else it could be done without light. So, yeah, I had a meeting last week with the Reinhardt and in Topeka, but I didn't make it. I had a health situation. So I'm still on he's still on my schedule to speak with him. But I do not think they realize, you know, they're in Olathe, they're in Topeka, they're in Horton, and I don't think they fully realize. Horton should realize a little bit, but I don't know how much they really realize about how necessary this is. Because, and I don't know for sure why everybody's going to Omaha, Nebraska out of Texas. There's something going on, but I don't know what it is. And those people do not, most of them, I won't say all of them, but a lot of them just do not realize about the traffic. They don't care. It appears. But anyway, yes, it's definitely happening. Well, I thank you for your time, and I just wanted to know if you knew more about this assessment, because I'm willing to pay my share, but my share, it cannot be compared to somebody that has 6 lots. And I have almost 1. Now, something is way wrong in that. And I intend to get to the bottom of it. But even if I'm completely wrong, now that's hard for me to say. Just kidding.
All right, thank you very much, ma'am, appreciate it.
Thank you all. You have to give me a little time. I had surgery.
Oh, you're good.
Walk slow.
Executive session.
Yeah, 20 minutes, maybe.
Entertained motion?
Yeah, I'll move to go into executive session for purpose of attorney-client privilege discussion for a period of 15 minutes, or 20 minutes, I'm sorry, starting at 11:21, returning 11:41, reopen this room for
Discuss potential claims against the county.
potential claims against the county.
Second it.
Okay, it's properly moved second, go to executive session for 20 minutes. Attorney-client privilege, possible claims against the county. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. All right, I would entertain a motion to go into executive session for attorney-client privilege claims against the county.
Move to go into executive session for the purpose of attorney-client privilege discussion, a period of 15 or 20?
I don't think we needed that long. Let's go 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Yep.
Starting at 11:42, returning at 11:52 to this room, claims against the county.
Second it.
It's properly moved second to go into executive session for attorney-client privileges, possible claims against the county. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All All right, I would entertain a motion to approve consent order for case number 2026-OG-005.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded to approve consent order for case number 2026-OG-005. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign, motion carried. We have a couple things real quick like. Christie had sent this down for an ad for reporter, talking about the third annual county budget informational meeting where we talked to publishing a reporter at a cost of $185.40 per week for publication in the Reporter and the Shopper for the week of July 8th and the week of July 15th. That was the 8th, so we.
July 8th is passed.
What's that? Yeah, so the 8th is passed, so the only one we get it in would be 15th. Is that agreeable?
Why do you have two?
No, it's just an ad.
Oh,
It's just an ad for a budget information meeting.
I'm fine.
So I would say yes to that one. Is that a consent? Okay. And then we also have one from the recorder for the Meet the People, like we did last year. We said we'd do this year too, but they want $1,313.25 for a full page ad. So where we had
Oh,
all
they
the
took the
departments.
picture and stuff.
You guys do.
All right, we'll see you later. Thank you. That seems a little
I'm not in.
pricey to me.
It's getting this year.
Yeah, I think,
Facebook for free.
yeah, I think we're just gonna skip that.
Take the picture.
And what is this? You,
Oh, she was asking and we didn't know.
Clara was?
Are we doing anything with the cities if we did the renewal?
No,
Okay, just need clarification.
no, because that's what we agreed on there too. We're keeping the full 4%
Right.
for the county. Yeah. Okay. I believe that's all of the business that we have for us. We still have we got minutes. Hang on. There. Has everybody read the minutes? I haven't. Okay, get those taken care of. Then we have official minutes to sign also.
Ed is working all the time. He's open up on Tuesday, correct? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday,
I
Friday,
believe
and
so.
Saturday?
I believe, well, don't quote me on that because I think that he's still closed on Tuesday, but he's using that time to do cleanup, mowing, things like that.
Oh, I think you're right.
Yeah, I think that's the way that was, but I think he would just soon be open.
Right.
I think you're right.
We'll need some clarification on that, but I believe that that's the way that
We're
works.
gonna motion on that.
Yeah, we're gonna need a motion on that, I believe,
Yeah.
to approve those minutes.
Move that we approve the minutes from the Jackson County Environmental Services, Knox-Weed Department, landfill, meeting.
Second.
Okay, it's probably moved and seconded to approve the minutes from the Jackson County landfill noxious weed, is that household hazardous waste and recycling?
That's read what was on it. Didn't have household hazardous waste.
Okay. I thought that it was because our household hazardous waste guys attended the meeting as a member. They sent him.
It's, then the motion will read the Jackson County Solid Waste Committee meeting.
Perfect.
That.
That's perfect. Just a second, okay. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried.
Is this the first time we've ever had minutes?
No, the former minutes are back in the binder from a year ago.
Okay. So, okay.
Several voiced their concerns with a grader operator still waiting on rock trucks. Been talking about that for almost 6 years now.
That needs to be changed to Mark 8. So yeah, you can do a line out there. Your printing's better than mine.
I tried real hard.
Thank you. Okay, has everybody read the minutes of July 6, 2026?
Yes.
Any additions or corrections?
No.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes of July 6, 2026.
So,
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded to approve the minutes of July 6, 2026. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Have we all read the minutes of July 6, 2026 for the work session with the townships?
Yeah.
Okay, I'd entertain a motion to approve the minutes of July 6, 2026 work session with the townships.
so moved.
Second.
Been probably moved and seconded to approve the minutes of July 6, 2026 work session with the townships. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. I believe, like I said, that takes care of all of the business that we have. We just have to sign the official minutes. your hand limbered up before you start signing, so you can get right at grant.
Is this supposed to have a signature on this one? Or is that blank? And moves to the next page.
So I can read them, but was there supposed to be?
Oh, I think this is just part of this year. It goes with Cormac's different on that one because they got scanned because
Okay.
accepted by rates.
Yep. Thank you.
All right, is any further business come before us today? I'd entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded to adjourn this meeting. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Meeting is adjourned.